Hi, my name's Paul Council, and welcome to video 4 in the Mastering Money series of videos. And today we're going to look at this notion of optimizing self-efficacy. Now, in the last video we talked about the power of incremental improvement, where if you start to learn to tweak and make adjustments to the deeper foundations that exist within your personal money drivers, and then starting to master your money codes, the money codes that are really, already within you, and then starting to point those money codes or those money drivers directly towards profitability. And we talked about this ability to just make small adjustments and yet get such a huge increase in your productivity, which then allows you to move towards the goals at a faster and an easier rate for yourself. But this notion of self-efficacy, now self-efficacy is really defined as your beliefs in your capabilities of achieving the outcomes that are important for you. So it's your beliefs in your capabilities. Now people either have high self-efficacy or they have low self-efficacy. And so what we've got to do over time is we've got to increase the level of self-efficacy within you so that your beliefs in your capabilities start to really allow you to move forward with a greater sense of ease. Now to do that, we've got to start thinking about, in a very, very systematic way, learning or getting access to new information. And it's the information that you currently don't have. I mean, it's, Mark Twain said something like, as we often don't know what we often don't know. And so we've got to get access to new information, but as soon as you start doing that, the next step is really important, and that's about applying the information, and that's the action step. And when you start moving through those processes of getting access to information and then applying that information, it allows you to get to the next stage, which is the stage of a result. Now, in a lot of cases when you start off learning something new, the first results you get are maybe a little bit disappointing, and of course, they have to be necessarily disappointing because it's learning new stuff. And it's really important to start thinking about those results in a very, very different way. For me, I often tell the people that I mentor, look, it's the result that's important. It's not the quality or the quantity of the result. In fact, in order to get a result, you've got to then, something needs to precede that. And what's preceded it, of course, is that you've got hold of new information and you've applied that new information, and that's the only way that you can get a result. And so that's the celebratory stage, the fact that you've got a new result. Now, when we start looking at that result through a different set of eyes, through a different set of opportunities, through a different set of enterprise mindsets, then we can start making adjustments where it's necessary. And, the adjustments might say, well, look, in this case, we've got to go back and pick up a little bit more information. Or in fact, what it's really telling you is that you just need to keep on going and you keep on cycling through those processes, because that's where skill develops. It's a process of repetition, 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 and cycling through those 5 stages. And that's the way that you really start to expand your self-efficacy. And it's really important to build deeper knowledge foundations, but you do that incrementally. It's really critical that you don't try and overachieve, you don't try and overstep, you don't try and reach too far. So it's about taking on little projects that just allow you to expand and then getting comfortable with that expansion and then starting to take on further projects from there. So you've got to start applying all of that information. It's got to be the action stage, it's the doing the stage that allows you to move forward. It allows you to operate at the edge of your comfort zone and then expand that comfort zone. And that's exactly what optimizing self-efficacy actually means. And when you master those processes, when you cycle through those processes, it's really about implementing and systemizing your new learning. And then coming up with a series of mechanisms that test your results, and in a way that allows you to build confidence and allows you to understand that I've just got to keep going and just keep on these learning phases, because it's that process that allows you to get to the results that are important for you. And I guess the most critical aspect of learning for me is who you actually learn from. And there are so many people, that's so much information, and there's so many conflicting ideas, and there's so many conflicting, suggestions. So the way that I think about it if you want something, then it's really important to immerse yourself in the environment of people that already have the results that you want. I mean, if you think about, if you want to be an athlete, then if you start training with athletes who already have your skill set, if you want to be better at anything, then if you start immersing yourself in the environment of those people that already have, if you want to improve your finances, if you want to improve your business, then immerse yourself in the environment of people who already have the results that you want. Far too many people take advice and take tuition of people that have never got any results, but they can always tell you why you shouldn't be able to do things or why you shouldn't be doing things. And I think that's a real mistake, because they can't tell you how to progress. They can only tell you how to stay the same. And so, number 4 for me, and that really is the sort of the environment of the mastermind that Napoleon Hill was talking about. It's the most critical, and it's got the biggest impact on you, and that's the environment of your reference group. So really, take this one on board and get yourself into the energy orbit of people that already have the results that you want. And then it's a process of continual refinement. It's a process of making adjustments. Each time you have a learning phase, each time you have a breakthrough, each time you have a new insight, it's about tweaking, and it's about adjusting, and it's about applying, and it's about learning, and it's about doing this, and it's about processing through those 5 stages over and over again that allow you to achieve the best results for yourself. And so you can start seeing how the personal money drivers and tweaking those little environments along the way impact each other. And so if you can make adjustments to your environment, and adjustments to your doing this, and adjustments to your capabilities, and adjustments to your self-talk, and then that leads on to adjustments in your motivation, which then lead on to the very important mindsets of worker self and enterprise self and entrepreneur self in the outcomes that are important for you. And that really, when you combine those efforts, it really does allow you to accelerate your progress to the outcomes that you have in mind. If they're financial outcomes, then again, get yourself into the energy orbit of those people who already have the financial outcomes you're looking for, because it's they that can reach down and give you the support. It's they can point out what the next step is. They can point out what the traps are. They can build the safety nets under you, and they can give you the confidence, because again, they've achieved the results, and so the pathways are familiar for them. Over the past 15 years, I've literally mentored hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business people, and literally thousands of individuals. And there's one thing that I continually observe, and it's that success in implementing new strategies, or success in implementing new learning, or success in implementing new understandings and new knowledge isn't so much related to how good the strategies themselves are. But what's more critical is that they're so much related to what's happening in the subconscious levels of mind. And if you think about the subconscious mind as a little bit like an iceberg, there are those things that we can directly observe. We can look at the marketplace, and we can look at certain different money-making strategies or money-making opportunities, and we can look at the reference group, the environment that you're immersing yourself in, and we can see there might be a whole series of competing demands for your time and energy. But what we don't often think about is, how are they impacting you at a deeper subconscious level? How do they impact your personal money drivers? What's the effects of your prior conditioning on your thinking patterns? And is that conditioning allowing you to travel with the ease and speed that you would seek? Often what happens is that conditioning produces what I call thinking loops. And it's those thinking loops of worry, and the thinking loops of stress, and the thinking loops that really concentrate on, or that try to concentrate on how-to strategies. But how-to strategies are so unimportant relative to the depth of the foundations that you've got to build them on. And so often people develop thinking loops that are just not fertile in ways that allow them to progress. And then you start to add in those effects of your reference group. So it's those processes, is what we really can't see. It's those processes within the subconscious regions of mind that really do need the greatest attention. And when you start to make improvements, incremental improvements to each one of those levels, then again, you'll simply become unstoppable. Now that's all for me for this video, but stay tuned to video 5 where I'll start to expand on what I mean by thinking loops, certainly those thinking loops that lack change. Until then, it's bye for me.